Hello, welcome pen friends. I thought I'd change things up a little bit this month. It is August 31st, 2021 as I'm filming this, but what I'm going to show you are the pens and inks that I'm going to be writing with for September. So I'm going to start with what I want to use in my bullet journal and then go from there. But actually, before I even say that, this probably will be kind of a chatty video. It may not be super long, I'm not sure, but it's not exactly what you expect for Chris's inked pens, so I'll try to label it somehow as a warning, you know, that it's just chatty. And it's really, I just can't stand to keep doing things exactly the same way, so I'm going to just experiment a little and we'll see together. I mean, if you don't like it, or if I don't like it, or whatever, then we'll probably just go back to the other way. In fact, this might be an anomaly. I'm just feeling super bored and weird and discombobulated, so why not just do everything differently, and maybe it'll somehow be better. You never know. So as usual for my bullet journal, this has got a lot of white cat hair on it. I'm using my Noctilula, the little case with the two sides. And of course I have my pencil and my little, what are they called? Micron, my 01 Pigma Micron in there with a little ruler and a ballpoint pen. But that's not what we're here for. We're here for the fountain pens. So I'm experimenting this month in the bullet journal with the Opus 88 Omar. And I've put a medium nib unit on it and my favorite gray ink. And that is Graf von Faber-Castell Stone Gray. That still is my favorite ink. I kind of, that Australian opal gray really got to me, but I returned to this as far as it being my very favorite. It's so flowy. It's just exactly the perfect spot for my gray shade that I like. So I've got it in two pens, which seems ridiculous because that's a tank. That Opus 88 will probably do the month, but I'm not sure yet whether I'm going to miss the TWSBI Eco, so I guess I'm just sort of struggling with myself, like, do what you want, right, Chris? I mean, just stop, you know, everything is not, you know, a national emergency, believe it or not. So I can just do what I want and easily retain the ink and transfer it to another pen if that's what I want to do. It's not going anywhere, you know, it's not going to be ruined, so I tell you, sometimes those battles we have with ourselves. And then in here, this is another TWSBI Eco with a medium nib. I've got my favorite green ink, which is the Colorverse Supernatural. And actually, I don't think I have written that anywhere except for the little book. So that'll be the one that's not in our little sample. But you will see it because I like to come back with a report card. I like to see how things are going. And this is new. I haven't actually put, oh, you could see that beautiful green. You could see it through here. You can actually, then we can talk about, you know, how things went. I haven't tried it in this pen till now. And actually, I'm going to get Eco with the green, transparent. I think they're called transparent. So it'll be like this one, only with the green. Because I fell in love with green fountain pen ink, you know, as I went along in the hobby, and I really think I will use it a lot. I like the clear one too, but yeah, the green, I'm excited about that. That's probably going to be a Christmas present for myself. So, okay, and then the final one for my bullet journal is the red transparent. I'm still using the fill. You can see it's only about halfway of Kaweco Ruby Red, and it is absolutely fantastic. It makes me want to never put another red ink in here, just keep it, you know, always running with this, because believe it or not, I like to have red just to mark things up and write things in and get my attention when I'm going back through, or even in my notes that I'm taking on the book I'm reading. Fun fact, I'm reading a book called Not Nice right now by Dr. Aziz, and it's fantastic, by the way. It's great. I may get a chance to talk about that later, though. Not in this video, but sometime. Okay, so then reversing just a little bit. See, I knew this was going to be a wild video, but hopefully I'll have enough warning labels on there for you. So my favorite in August turned out to be the Vinta Macopa. I think that's how you say it. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous ink with red sheen. It's like a magenta with, I mean, red. Green, actually. Wow, I'm doing the red and green Ecos and getting all mixed up. But it's, it was in my Lamy All-Star Vibrant Pink, and let's see, what was I running? A broad nib, yeah. I filled it up already, and so it's still going. So this is my pen roll, and there's a few pens still going, but they're so close to being finished, except for this one, because I refilled it, that I'm just gonna keep on for variety with the pen pals. Some of the pen pals I'm writing to right now may not have already seen these, so I'm gonna keep them running till they run out, hopefully. Even the, one of my Opus 88 Omars is close to running out, so I've really been doing a lot of writing. Anyway, I just we'll talk more about the pen roll here in a minute too. So that was my favorite from August. So now now let's start with brand new 8 pens and 8 inks. Not brand new, but for September, these are the ones. Even before I start that though, I'm not doing 30 inks 30 days in September. I'm really hoping to kind of save up all my inky you know, concentration for December, because I'm gonna do something special in December if I can get my act together. So the first ink for September, and we will try to come back to that, what I'm going to do in December, because there's no secret about it, is Vinta Terracotta Demilla. It's a gorgeous orange that was sent to me by my pen friend Matt. I have it in the Nemesine Singularity with a 0.8 nib that I moved over from another pen friend. So I'll have to do all these initials and salutations in the description box, or it could just turn into you know, an hour-long video, which wouldn't be horrible probably. But anyway, this, oh my goodness, I actually wrote a note to Matt, because I had an ink to send him for the website, inkswatch.com, and I was using this, and so I can, spoiler alert, I can already tell you it's really great. I know tomorrow's September 1st, but I had it filled today, so I went for it. Okay, and then next up I chose Ferris Wheel Press Algonquin Maple, which on glance it looks red, and with all this lighting and everything coming from everywhere in here in my office, it really looks red, but when you get it in a nib, you begin to see it looks like the kind of red that has a little bit of orange in it that you see underfoot in Vermont and New England when you're walking on leaves. And actually right in front of me is a picture of my brother, my nephew, and my friend, and there's a beautiful, you know, fall foliage behind them. Well, one of my favorite colors for picking up leaves was always the red, and yet it wasn't completely red. It was red, rust, orange, kind of very difficult to describe. But this ink comes from Canada, and they know that's how they made this ink, I think. So I have that in my Opus 88 Coloro, and I just put a broad nib unit in it. I did have the TWSBI broad nib unit in it, but I wanted the actual one where I could use the proper little O-ring and everything and have it, you know, kosher the way it's supposed to be here. And it's excellent. I mean, I actually kind of went back and forth. I didn't know if I'd get enough shading with it, but I really love it. And I will show you a glimpse into my little journal, to my river paper here in a minute, maybe at the halfway point, so you can see these first 4. Okay, so pen number 3, or ink number 3, is Lamy Bronze, and it's a brighter orange, but it's really pretty, and it actually has some beautiful shading. So I went ahead and put that in my Platinum Century 3776 Nice, I think is how you say it, with a broad nib. And I think that's going to be wonderful. I'm a little bit scared with this pen, because when I got it brand new, this is a replacement actually, I had that little section crack, so I'm having to be real careful, or at least I'm telling myself, don't over tighten it, because someone mentioned that might have been what happened. So I'm a little bit like, you know, I don't have to baby my other pens that way, and maybe I don't have to that one, but I'm ridiculous, so what can I say? Okay, next up is Robert Oster Bishop to King. This is gorgeous. It's purple, but there's something about it that's very different. And I'm liking it so far. And I think you can actually kind of see that if I hold it to the natural light. It's really pretty. And because it reminded me of this pen, this is a blue, more or less blue pen. It's the Genhao X750 with, it's called Marble Swirl, I think, or Marble Blue, something. Anyway, it's got a 1.5 Goulet nib on it. I don't know if I can, whoops. Making some weird hand gestures. I don't want to do that. But anyway, it's nice so far. I'm liking it. And I think it, I don't know. I guess it was that, there was just something about the way the pen looks, even though it's blue with that swirl, it kind of matches the ink. I thought that was cool. Okay. Then next up, I'm probably going to mangle the name of that pen because it was given to me and I'm not sure. I'm not sure about the color. But I am about the ink. The ink is Sailor Grenade, and it's a beautiful red with beautiful shading. It's just a beautiful ink. It's one of my favorites, and it's got that gold sheen over the top of it, which is, for some reason, it's not showing up on the camera. It might have worked out better with the overhead, but we're just doing things different. Anyway, I put it in a Lamy All-Star that was sent to me that I had full intentions of giving this pen away, but I thought I'd try it first. oh boy, I don't know now. Okay, so at first I thought that this and this were gonna look almost exactly the same, but they really are different. This is a vibrant pink All-Star that I had purchased. And one of my pen friends sent me 3 Lamys because they didn't work out for her. So I had really good intentions, and now it's like, whoa, I think this is purple. I think the name of it is purple, but it could be purple black. So I went online, and then I said, I don't have patience for this, and here I am. This is why videos are almost not happening, but I just decided I want this contact with the my pen friends, and I'm gonna sit there and talk, and whoever wants to listen can listen. I put the 1.1 stub on it, and this surprised me. I actually was telling myself it's okay, because if you don't like it, you can just slip one of the broad nib units on. But again, when I was writing to pen friend Matt, it worked really, really well. And throughout the whole page, it wasn't just the first couple lines. So I was happy. Something about this ink with that nib. I have to say that must be what it is. Okay, here's another experiment for me. Not only with the ink, but with the nib. The next ink is Diamine Scribble Purple. And this is for, I think pen friend Matthew from the UK sent this a long time ago, and I'm just now getting to it. It's got a gold sheen, and it's really a nice dark purple. Now, before the month is over, I may try it in a different nib just so I can see more of the ink, because I've got it in the Lamy Dark Lilac Safari, Lamy Safari, and I have it with an extra fine nib that came from the pen friend that sent the 3 pens. I had never tried a Lamy extra fine, and I feel like it is finer than the fine, but there isn't that much difference, not a horrible lot of difference, at least with this ink. Let's see. Yeah, being a Diamine ink, that makes sense. So we'll see how it goes. It's so nice to be able to pop those nibs off and put another one. If I want to go ahead and see how it looks with the broad nib, that'll be easy. And I'm crazy about the ink. It's looking black in the nib, but I do think that it just depends on the lighting, and that's where I probably will experiment with the nibs. Okay, and then I've got 2 more TWSBI Ecos, my favorite, I guess my favorite of all time pens, because if you judge by how much I write with the Ecos, they win the day for me. And maybe that's just because I like to write so much. But here's the first one, the TWSBI Eco in the purple transparent. I ended up getting this pen in 2 different nibs. This is the medium, and I have it in the stub as well. Those are, for a while, those were my 2 favorite TWSBI nibs, but now I'm liking their broad nibs too. So, did I not tell you what I had in it? Wow, I'll tell you. Watermen Tender Purple. Probably because I've used this ink so much. And my whole purpose was to move this into the bullet journal. So actually that goes with the other 4 pens. That's going to be 5 bullet journal pens that are just dedicated to that. I mean, it's not like I can't grab it and write a letter, but that was my whole purpose for inking this one up. Was I thought, I've got green, I've got red, and my standard gray, and I need a purple for that. So there we have it. Whoops, I moved it over. Okay, so then last but not least is Blackstone Barrister Purple, which was sent to me by pen friend Amy, and that is gone into the TWSBI Eco, let's see, Lilac. Wow, it's amazing how fast I can forget the color names of these pens and scramble them all up. I will have to look and correct that in the description if I'm wrong. But I have a medium nib on here, and I was hoping, this is a permanent ink, I was hoping to be able to address envelopes with it, and I did, but one of my envelopes I was using today, it did a little bit of feathering, but it might not be that great of an envelope. It's not a super cheap envelope, but it's definitely not a fountain pen friendly, you know, marketed for that envelope. So I might have to get up there and see, you know, dig out some better envelopes. By there, I mean this little cubby of disaster full of envelopes. Okay, so that's it. That's it. And I do have also, I did the whole video on the Vinta Soda Light, and I have that in my Noodler's Ahab, but I've buried it behind me there, so I'm not going to dig for that since I already did a whole video about that ink. So what I've got here is my little currently ink booklet, and I'm going to try to hold it up so you can see. Let me see. So it's not perfect doing it this way, but because you can't see all of them at once. But that's how it's going so far, and I guess I can get it where you can see them all. Really, really excited. Let me look at this and see if there's one that I think is going to win. You know, I always try to choose a favorite, and last month it was that gorgeous magenta ink in the Lamy All-Star with a broad nib, the Macopa. But sometimes I can predict just after writing just for a few minutes, so let me see. I'm really loving the terracotta demilla. It's amazing, and I'm going to want to see that in a broad nib. That's that first one. Let's see. I've got the tile here. That's what's different about, if it's laid flat, I can keep, you know, kind of showing you things easier without making you dizzy, but oh well, we're doing things different. What else? Actually, because I love this pen so much, and now it's got that broad nib unit, and because this ink, the Ferris Wheel Press Algonquin Maple, just, it evokes the fall in Vermont, and I can't be there right now. You know, that could change, but right now things are absolutely nuts, and it's just not gonna happen for September, I'm sure. Then that sort of, you know, I can close my eyes and kind of be there. Gosh, so those first two are just like, whoa. And then, you know, of course, I've seen Watermen Tender Purple in a medium nib before. I love that ink, and it's going to be a standard. It's going to be really fun. But the surprise was that Sailor Grenade in the 1.1 Lamy nib. Gosh, that's so super smooth. And I have used it before with different inks where I felt like this is too dry, but that just shows me it just all depends on your ink. I know that, but I mean, I could just sit here all day and talk about that because it just took me by such surprise. So actually that's it, and I bet you we're getting up there for time. Oh, and there are people who like to know what I'm going to put my pens in, so let's talk about that. So what I think I'm going to do, I've got a few pens still inked up in the Rickshaw. This is the hand roll with the, let's see where their logo. Well, it doesn't matter, but anyway, it's the Rickshaw hand roll with the Inktopuss on it in blue, and I won it in one of the 30 Inks 30 Days that I did in the past. They draw names, you know. Wow, it was like, whoa, I wanted one so badly, and it was exciting to get that. I'm going to transfer these pens over to the purple Knock Sinclair. because it'll hold everything that's in here. And I've enjoyed this so much, I'm going to just keep right on with this hand roll. Because what I do is put it to the side of where I'm writing and stick the pens out where I can just grab them. And if I do it right, I end up with my little chart right beside me so that I always know, you know, what's in each one. Because, well, now I've got, what, 12, 13... heaven knows how many pens inked up, so that can sometimes trip me up a little bit. So I'll put the new ones in here, and I'll really enjoy that. And then the ones that I'm finishing up, that'll just be easy to go take them to the sink and clean them as I finish up, or as need be. But nothing has been drying up from last month. Let's take a look at. I was going to say I've probably already cleaned out several from August. Because I remember, I already cleaned out that shimmer ink, the Ancient Charm, Love of the Lotus. I cleaned that out. I cleaned the Jaffa Scenario. And I even got cleaned out the TWSBI Eco with Tranquility. But I still do have the 50 States Texas in the yellow TWSBI. And a little bit left in the TWSBI Go Broad with the Monarch. And I will go ahead and I'll pin that other video so you could see August if you missed that. But let's see. And I filled up the All-Star again, so I'll be working on that, finishing that fill. Yeah, but even the TWSBI Swipe with the Diamine Earl Grey is already cleaned out. I finished it. I finished the whole fill. Oh my gosh, I've been journaling like a fiend. Excuse me. Okay, I'm starting to see the disadvantages of doing it this way, because I would like to show you sort of the report card, but everything stood pretty well. I think I might have just... Yeah, the only problem I had really last month was the Lamy Vista with the broad nib with the Love of the Lotus, the Ancient Charm. I really should have had that in like a X750 with a nice big feed and nib, because it just didn't output enough of the shimmer, and it has plenty of shimmer. So that's the only thing I would do different. The rest of them all got like B+ and above, you know, other than the pen that I let dry out. But we already covered last video that was not the pen's fault. The scenario, that was my fault. I left it unused for too long. So we'll just, we'll make sure I figure out how to do that this time toward the middle of the month. But I did want to talk about what I'm trying to do for December. So with the ad money for the channel, so it was like June and July paid in August, because it takes a couple months to get enough for them to spit out a paycheck, so to speak. We made the contribution to the Cattery for $30-something. That was 20% of what the channel earned. And then I bought some stamps, and then with the money left, which was the biggest chunk, I pre-ordered from Dromgools the Diamine ink vent. I wasn't going to, I went back and forth, but I thought that's a pretty good way.
It's 2 p.m.
2 p.m. to spend the ad money, I think, and hopefully, hopefully I'll be ready in December to really dive into that. At least on some level, because let's face it, if I'm not able to do like a daily ink challenge, that means I'm just putting too many rules or structure, or I'm, you know, creating, you know, self-imposed hurdles that are too high, and really all I have to do is get my glass nib out and some paper and just really enjoy it. So if you ever find yourself in the place where I have sometimes found myself, where it's no longer fun, that's probably because we've gone maybe a little bit overboard, done it too many times, or just put too many, I won't say restrictions, but we've just raised our bar so high, you know. It didn't take me long to figure out that a daily video was too much, but doing every single test on the ink, and trying it in 3 different pens or whatever. I'm capable of structuring things that way and then sucking all the fun out of it for myself. So I'm not going to do that anymore. I have to go into pen and ink rehab or whatever. I'll put myself there. But the last thing in the world I'd ever want to do would be to spoil this hobby, because this is the most fun of any hobby I've ever had. So, and the community is so wonderful. So let me know, but please be kind, you know, if you don't mind every once in a while these talky videos rather than the, you know, looking down at what I'm doing. I'd like to do both, but I've got to get a different device before I can do that. I keep getting it to where I've made my files so big that I can't even do anything till I delete files, and it's just a long technical story, and it's what I get for trying to do something with just a cell phone, you know, but that's worked so far, sort of. So, okay, I'm going to let you guys go, but I can't wait. I am really excited. Actually, even though I'm not going to do 30 inks 30 days, I've got 2 pen friends, Marilyn and Vicky, that are doing all purple, and I know that I think Charmy is going to do some on her channel. Courageous Creator. I hope I'm getting that right. I'll correct it in the description box if I got it wrong. But and I'm pretty sure other people. So hop in on the comments and let us know. You can even, you know, just let us know if you're doing 30 inks 30 days videos or content over on Instagram, because I like to be a observer and see those kind of things just as much as I like to do them myself. So I'll just be here writing letters and trying to continue with a whole bunch of little home projects and just trying to stay well and ride out the rest of this experience we're all going through. So I'll see you later. Bye for now.